morning. Today is International Winnie the Pooh Day, and this assembly is about what we can learn from the characters in A. Milne's books. I'm sure most of you will recognise the characters on the slide, and some of you will know which books and films the characters appear in. October 2016 marked 90 years since the first publication of A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, which he followed with The House at Pooh Corner 2 years later. These books became classics, and many other Winnie the Pooh books have been written since then. All are much loved by both children and grown-ups alike. Many people are familiar with the Disney films, which were first released in 1966. However, the original books, featuring illustrations by E.H. Shepard, are still hugely popular today. In that same year, to celebrate the fact that both Winnie the Pooh and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II celebrated their 90th birthdays, a special book featuring Winnie the Pooh and the Queen was produced in the same style as the original. This slide shows the original cover of one of A. Milne's books.
Deep in the 100-acre wood, Christopher Robin and his friends have had many wonderful adventures, and if I'm correct, I believe we have just enough time to see one. On this fine day, Winnie the Pooh was invited over to his friend Rabbit's house for a bit of lunch. Being served his most favourite of foods, Pooh happily sat down to eat. And he ate, and 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 ate, until at last he said to Rabbit in a rather sticky voice,
"I must be going now. Goodbye, Rabbit." Oh, help and bother.
Well, it all comes from eating too much.
It all comes from not having front doors big enough.
If I have to face that thing for months, well, I might as well make the best of it. Oh, no! There it is again. I'll just turn it to the wall. Oh, dear. Uh-huh.
Pooh, Roo has a little surprise for you.
Flowers!
Honeysuckle.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. It's rather good, I think.
Hold it.
Oh, no! No help! Why did I ever invite that bear to lunch?
And then one morning, when Rabbit began to wonder if Pooh might be stuck there forever, a miraculous thing happened.
He budged! Hooray! Christopher Robin! Christopher Ribbon! He bidged! He badged! He booged! Today's the day!
Yee-ho! Yee-ho! Yee-hee-hee-hee-hee!
There he goes!
Bears love honey and I'm a Pooh Bear. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. Time for something sweet.
And just as quickly as Pooh became unstuck, he became happily stuck again in a very sticky place indeed. But that is an entirely different story for an entirely different time.
The characters in the Winnie the Pooh books all have distinct personalities, each revealing both strengths and things they find difficult. Think about yourself as we consider each of the main book characters by asking the following questions. Am I a bit like that character? What can I learn from that character? Perhaps you are someone a bit like Owl. Owl is known for his wisdom. In fact, he is the wisest of all the animals living in the 100-acre wood. His intelligence is often called upon to help Winnie the Pooh. He is always forthcoming in offering his advice, opinions and experience, even if others don't want to hear it. Are you someone who has plenty of ideas, advice and wisdom that you generously share with others? Are you someone who helps others when they are in difficulty? What can we learn from the character of Owl? Perhaps you are someone a bit like Eeyore. He is a small donkey stuffed with sawdust. He is an intelligent animal but tends to keep to himself. He is known to be extremely gloomy and a thinker. He does not rush to do things, but takes his time. Are you someone who enjoys being in your own company? Are you someone who thinks deeply? What can we learn from the character of Eeyore? Perhaps you are someone a bit like Piglet. Even though Piglet is small, he is a very brave animal. What he loves doing best is going on adventures with Pooh. He is fond of bright colours and balloons, and he likes blowing dandelions. The first thing that Piglet says to himself when he gets up in the morning is, "I wonder what's going to happen exciting today." Are you someone who loves adventures? Are you someone who has an inner courage? Are you someone who delights in the colour and beauty of life? What can we learn from the character of Piglet? Perhaps you are someone a bit like Tigger. He is a very bouncy animal and resembles a tiger. He is always in an electrifying and exuberant mood and loves to bounce, bounce and bounce. He looks to make the most of what life has to offer and says that the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is that I'm the only one. He takes a lot of pleasure in being able to unbounce some of the other animals in the 100-acre wood. Are you someone who loves to exercise? Are you someone whom people describe as unique? Are you someone who wants to make the most of life? What can we learn from the character of Tigger? Or maybe you are someone a bit like Pooh Bear. He is a small golden bear of very little brain. He does a lot of silly things and his love for honey is endless. He is friends with everyone in the 100-acre wood. The first thing he says when he gets up in the morning is, "What's for breakfast?" Things he likes to do include exercising in the morning, going on adventures with Christopher Robin or Piglet, and visiting friends. Are you someone who loves being with friends? Are you someone who loves adventures, especially with others? Are you someone who keeps going, even if you make a mistake? What can we learn from the character of Pooh Bear? Although the Winnie the Pooh stories are classified as children's literature, there are many lessons that people of all ages can learn from them. Let's look at some short quotations from A. Milne's stories and consider what they might mean. Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. This quotation is all about gratitude, being grateful. Piglet is optimistic and delights in the simple joys of life. Although he is small in size, he is full of gratitude. How can we foster a greater sense of being grateful today for our food, friends, family, teachers and home? Piglet, how do you spell love? Pooh, you don't spell it, you feel it. This quotation asks us to think about love. Love is not something that is related to our intelligence or our abilities. Love is a feeling that all of us want to feel and enjoy. How can we show love to others? You can't stay in your corner of the forest waiting for others to come to you. You have to go to them sometimes. This final quotation is from Piglet. Despite his small size, he knows that to fully experience life, he needs to get out there and live it. He is proactive, willing to take risks and have a go. What new thing might you have a go at today?
Good morning. As most of you will already know, I'm Gustav, head of Leamington. In my role as head of house, I try to be a good role model for the boys in the house. I support the house staff and I want to make sure that all the boys from my house feel good and see the house as their second home. I thought that it would be a good idea today to give you a quick update on what it is like to be a boarder under the current circumstances. Some of you might not know this, but there are currently around 50 boarders who are at school at the moment during lockdown. Like the day pupils, we have our lessons online in our house instead of having face-to-face lessons in the classrooms during the day. It is of course not the same to have lessons online, but we are lucky as boarders to be able to be with our friends at school. This really helps in these challenging times. On Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, we have games as normal, although we cannot have the usual matches, of course. And after school, we have different activities, such as playing football together in the evenings, quizzes or cinema nights, and cooking competitions. This week, we had a steak cooking competition in our beautiful Leamington kitchen. We are really lucky that the boarding staff at Dover College are determined to make our experience as boarders as pleasant and exciting as possible. And to ensure this, there is a boarding committee. This virtual committee includes staff and pupils, and together we talk about what is good and what could be better. We also discuss what activities we would like to be able to do. It is really good that we are able to give our opinion as pupils. It really makes us feel valued and listened to. Even though it was a bit of a shock at first to stay in school when schools had to close, I must say that there are some advantages to being here as a boarder. It is nice to get the same daily school routine as we would normally do, and the fact that you can go through that tough lockdown times with some of your friends by your side makes it a lot easier. Yes, we miss our family, of course, but we look at the positive side and know that we are lucky to be healthy and well looked after here. So please keep working hard. I hope you can all come back soon and stay safe.
Those of you who read their emails, and I hope that you all do, will know by now that from today we would expect you to turn your cameras on during live lessons. As explained in the email, we feel that this is a step closer to real face-to-face teaching, as we can communicate better with you and monitor your focus and engagement in lessons. With cameras switched on, teachers can see your facial expressions and reactions, and that is important for us to be able to check if you understand the lesson, if you are keeping up with the work, and basically if you are happy and making progress. If you're not, we need to know so that we can either re-explain or give you extra support. Also, we feel that if you can see each other and your teacher, we will all have a stronger sense of being together as a community, and that is important for us all and our mental well-being in this period of isolation. It will also encourage you to stick to routines and take care of your appearance and presentation, which again is very important for your mental health. So please, no pyjamas, no nightwear. Please ensure that you are dressed appropriately for every lesson. It is also very important that you behave appropriately, and any concerning behavior from pupils will be dealt with immediately by disabling the pupil's microphone and or their cameras. If necessary, you will be removed from the class by the teacher. Any such issues will be reported immediately to your housemaster or housemistress and to me, and it will be dealt with in accordance with our behavior policy. I know that I can count on your cooperation with your teachers to make this next step into virtual teaching a success. Have a good week.
A morning prayer. O God, enlighten my mind with truth, inflame my heart with love, inspire my will with courage, enrich my life with service. Pardon what I have been, sanctify what I am, order what I shall be, and thine shall be the glory, and mine the eternal salvation, through Jesus Christ my Lord. Amen.